In this video, we're going to take a look at the basic discussion settings in WordPress. So to access our discussion settings, we're going to go from the dashboard down to settings and choose discussion. And the big thing about the discussion settings is really spam. If you have a WordPress site and it's around for any length of time and you do any type of posts or pages to it, you're going to find out that you magically attract lots of spammy comments where people are just putting dummy links, selling prescription drugs or whatever the case may be. And this is a section where you can kind of combat that. Now, when I talked in the earlier video on the general settings, I told you that WordPress installs with a plugin over here called Askamet. And it can help with spam if you go ahead and activate it, but there's a whole registration process you have to go through. And I've learned through years of experience that it's not exactly goof-proof. So when we go into our discussion settings here, these are the settings that I recommend that you do to prevent as much spam as possible, as much spammy comments as possible, because it can be really time consuming and it can make your blog your WordPress site kind of junky if it contains lots of spam comments and you always have to go in there and delete them and it's a pain. Okay, so under default article settings, these first two here are by default checked, and I won't go into the technical aspect of these, but basically it's kind of stuff that will maybe help you in the search engines a little bit. The drawback is that it really attracts spammers as well. So I uncheck these first two guys. Now, allow people to post comments on new articles. Yeah, if you want to have comments, leave that checked. Then we have our other comment settings. And remember, the spam comes from our comments. So comment author must fill out name and email. Absolutely, you want to have this guy checked. The users need to be registered and logged in. That's a real hassle for people, and it will really limit the number of good comments that you get, so leave it unchecked. But this guy by default is unchecked. I recommend you check it. Automatically close comments on articles older than XX number of days. What this means is, let's say you do a blog post about something and you leave it open for comments indefinitely. So a year later, you're getting all of these spammy comments because that's what these people in the software does. It crawls WordPress sites and it finds pages and posts where it can leave automatic comments. And it's a real problem. When I've learned that if I check this guy and I automatically close comments on anything I publish after 30 days, meaning for 30 days, people can go ahead and comment on it. After that, I consider it old, and I'm going to close it for comments. When I do that, I notice that my spam dropped dramatically. That's why I recommend you do it. For the rest of these guys, you can just leave the default. Email me whenever anyone posts a comment or a comment is held for moderation. That's up to you. I leave them checked. Before a comment appears, the comment author must have a previously approved comment. You can check this or not check this. In addition to the manually approved, again, this is going to create more work for you if you have both of these guys checked. So in most cases, you can leave them unchecked. And then if it becomes a problem, you can go in and recheck these guys. Okay, hold a comment in the queue if it contains X number or more of links. What will happen when people leave comments and it's spam? They always are going to include links. And generally, if you leave it at the default and someone does a comment and they have 2 or more links in there, it's gonna hold that comment. It's not gonna publish it. So you can leave this at the default. If you still run into problems, you can change this to, say, for example, 1. But then if someone leaves a good comment and they're giving a useful link to someone, that comment is going to be held for moderation too, and you're going to need to go in and check it. So by default, I just leave this at 2. And then we have the comment blacklist. And this is something that you'll learn over time because no matter what you do, you're going to get spammy comments on your WordPress site. And you need to kind of watch what type of URLs are being used or emails or IP addresses or words that are being used, for example, Viagra or stuff like that. And you can type all of these words or links or URLs in here. And then when anyone posts a comment that contains any of this stuff, WordPress will automatically block that comment. And then finally down here, we have avatars. If someone leaves a comment, if they are signed up with an avatar service like Gravatar, do you want to show, their image and so on? Again, just leave the default. But the big idea here in the discussion settings is where you can combat spam. So I recommend to go ahead and use the settings that I taught you in this video. When you're done, once again, click Save Changes.